Well, thank you so much. It is such a great honor to be chosen for this award, and I appreciate the opportunity to speak to you today. Okay. Take time to think about this. A smile brings joy to the heart. As a student walks into the school and is greeted with a smile and "I'm so glad to see you today," or a simple high five, they receive hope for a good day ahead, or a smile in their heart knowing someone cares. This is a thought that drives me to reach every student I come in contact with every day. I currently work at Tenina Elementary in Wasilla in both the intensive resource and behavior support. My responsibilities are as vast as many hats that I wear daily. In the classroom, I prep lessons, collaborate with teachers and my fellow paras, and simply look for ways to make the day go smoother. Once the classroom is prepped, I head outside to what we call door service. This is one of my favorite parts of the day, as I get to greet students and be the first smiling face they see. Meeting the needs of my special education superstars that I work with on a daily basis includes so many things. Some of them are one-on-one direct instruction in the classroom, providing assistance in any area needed, such as bathroom attending, AKA poop duty, socialization with friends and peers, feeding needs, behavior management, and de-escalation. But most of all, being a #1 supporter that respects and loves them. I was introduced into the world of paraprofessionals about 14 years ago. At that time, I worked for the Forest Service. I was a forester and a firefighter. Most of my time was spent in the mountains. As some of you may know me, that is not a surprise. But with a growing family and the adoption of my niece, I needed more time at home. So I went to part-time, which actually opened more time for me to volunteer at my daughter's school. I had the opportunity to meet and connect with a boy with autism during this time as a volunteer. Our connection allowed me to be able to help him de-escalate during times of high anxiety, stress-induced episodes, and further solidified when he would ask for me specifically. After many calls from the school and staff at home asking me what I would do when he was struggling, the next phone call was the principal saying, "Hey, do you want a job?" I said yes, and here we are. So why special education? Why do we do what we do? For me, it's built into my DNA to look for ways to help and encourage others, having compassion and putting myself in their shoes to be able to see the world through their eyes. That is something that I've done ever since I was a child. Being an educator and working with students with exceptionalities has given me the opportunity to touch lives in a way I didn't even know was possible when I first started. One time, when I went the extra mile to reach a student, there was this boy with autism whose parents were told he would never read or function in everyday life. He had reverted into the world of Star Trek. As you can see, this is a picture of our staff, and this is on his birthday. And I'm in the back with Blue, and that was my daily uniform. He had reverted into the world of Star Trek and believed that he was Captain Kirk of the Starship Enterprise. He only lived in that world and that language. I knew I needed to reach this child. I just needed to figure out how. So, with the help of my son, I spent many hours watching Star Trek shows, studied the language, studied the lingo, even Klingon. I set my pride aside, and I became Commander Spock. I was Commander Spock for many months, and I come to like blue. I wasn't a big fan of blue, but Commander Spock wears blue. I dressed the part and even carried the equipment. After 3 months, progress was starting to be made. He started to read. And after 5 months, something started to unlock in this child's mind, and despite all who said this would never happen, he began to grasp reality and separate the fiction of Star Trek and the nonfiction that is the world. I am proud of his continued progress. He is now a full functioning middle school student. Another of the hats I wear is that of a coach. Throughout my years, I have coached many levels of basketball, track and field, cross-country running, and softball. My goal is to ensure students have a positive, fun experience, not just to learn the fundamentals of the sport, but learn fundamentals of life, like integrity, sportsmanship, working together as a team, and how to be successful in achieving their full, true potential. And also allowing and encouraging my special education students to participate in sports activities is one of the impacts I've had as a coach. Parents have shared with me that their children would not have been able to participate in extracurricular activities except that I welcome them in. Participation in sports has such a large impact on kids, and I feel strongly that every child should have the opportunity to be part of a team. As union members, we too are given the wonderful opportunity to be part of a team. When I first joined, I had no idea the impact and the support this body of educators would give me. The CEA has definitely made me a better educator by providing me with opportunities to further my own education and answering my million daily questions. Thank you, Mary Parrish and Karen Salisbury. I try to give back by being a building rep at our school and volunteering whenever possible. I have been with CEA for 8 years, and the opportunities are endless. And I share the education of the union that they have given me with my coworkers and my community. I encourage all paras and educators, anybody in the education field, to take a more active role in your local chapter and keep advocating for education. A while back, I was watching TV when a show came on. You know, one of those shows where they walk around the streets and ask random questions to random people? Most of the time it's silly or just dumb. But on this particular episode, the question was, who inspired or impacted your life the most besides your parents? Because most people is going to say their mama. The majority of the people asked said it was a teacher, a coach, or somebody in the education field. That really says a lot about us and what we do. I bet if you were asked that question, you would have no problem naming somebody right off the top of your head. I know I wouldn't. I can name probably 4 people right now just off the top of my head that made such a difference in my life, and all of them were in education. 1, Miss Karen Tibbles was a high school teacher. I would have never made it through high school without her, or probably even graduated. She put so much time into me in school and outside of school. I had Coach Dennis. He made sure I made it to practice every day. He looked out for me. He made sure everything was okay. He showcased my ability, even got me a college scholarship. Most of all, he opened his home to me when things were not good at mine. In closing, I'd like to encourage each one of you to be ready to give out smiles and high fives each and every day. We have such a tremendous power to impact and redirect lives, even on days when it is difficult, messy, and completely sucks the life out of you. Okay. Let me ask you this. If that TV show came to your town and asked that question to people on the street, are they going to say your name? Thank you.